Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today with Stamping with Loretta. It is Sunday afternoon and I honestly don't even know what time it is. How sad is that? Daylight savings time has ended, so if you didn't set your clocks back yesterday, then you need to do it. It looks like it's about 6:30 here, local time, and I'm glad that you joined me today. I'm going to do a really quick tutorial, a remake, if you will, on a project I made its design team, because I got to thinking about it and I thought, you know, how can I make this even more fun and exciting than it already is? And so you all remember the snow globe, and this one is not 100% finished, but you're about to get the idea, and I'm going to show it to you. Remember, the name of the stamp set is Santa is Stuck, and in my case, he fell down the chimney on some slick ice. So all you see are his little feet. And unfortunately, I'm not able to, oh, there it goes. I was going to say the battery wasn't working earlier, so you're going to see me turn around here, folks, and I'm going to turn off my studio light so you can see him a little better. Okay, hopefully we can see him now. Yeah, you can see him. So the flickering of the flame looks like it's coming out from behind him, and as you can see, it's three-dimensional. So I'm going to shoot a really quick video tutorial on how to do this, at least to make the chimney, okay? So I'm going to turn the lights back on. Okay, now to prep things, what I did was I stamped the bricks of the chimney, the top of the chimney, and Santa's legs before we even get started onto Express It Quality cardstock. This is from the markerpop.com website. I'll try to put their information below. And I'm going to lower the camera so that we can get started. And I'm just going to leave you guys plugged in while I lower you down. I'm not real concerned about overly editing this because we're going to do it quick and dirty, as I've heard said before. So as you can see, I have stamped this chimney actually 8 times. You don't need to stamp it 8 times. One of my main reasons for doing it this many times is so that if I make a really grievous error, then I'm going to be good to go. I have here a box of ordinary watercolor pencils, and I'm also going to put this in with my beginning series for you guys. So if you watch any of those videos, then this will be in there underneath the playlist. So we are just going to start. Like I said, we're going to do this quick and dirty. When you use watercolor pencils, a couple of things you want to remember when you're doing a project like this is it doesn't have to be perfect, especially since these bricks, if you will, are probably going to be seen from a little bit of a different, distance. So I think, yeah, we'll just start here. It's kind of hard when you have a screen like this to tell exactly where you are when you're filming. So it's we're just gonna do one, and then I might as well do a few. And I'm just scribbling, as you can see. I'm not like coloring in the lines. No fancy blending techniques. We're just trying to get color down right now. If you want these to be more dimensional, then you can use all 8 of the pieces that you stamped. In this case, we really only need the 4. And I just want to remind you that brick is not a solid color. When you see it, if you really look at it, you'll notice that it's got all kinds of flecks of different colors in it. Everything from gray to red to white to even black. According to how old the bricks are. I grew up around Boral Brick Company, based out of Augusta, Georgia, which is, even though now I know I wasn't born there, I was actually born in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that it's still home. It's still my hometown. I'm just going to grab a second color of red here, and continue to color in the bricks just so that they have that dimension that we talked about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you color outside of the lines with this project, don't erase it. Just leave it. Like I said, this will work out in the end. You don't have to worry about being extremely precise or exact. It's more about getting the color and a little bit of shading in there so it looks more real. But if you accidentally, go over into the white areas, it's not going to really matter because nobody's going to really notice it. Well, you might. I tell you always to do your best work, and I do sincerely mean that. That you should. When this project is finished, you'll still be proud of it. But it is not an overly fussy thing to do, and that's what makes it great for all levels of crafters, whether you are just starting out or you've been stamping and scrapbooking for a long time. This is just one of those things that if you just kind of watch and do and keep practicing, you're going to get better and better. And as you can see, I am not even using any rhyme nor reason to get these bricks shaded in. I'm actually going to come back in just a second with a little bit of, this is going to look black on camera, but it is actually dark brown, and I'm trying to get all of those into the camera, but you can kind of see what I'm doing. I just want to this is going to muddy up the color just a little bit. You don't have to do them all, just a few random ones here and there. You don't have to do the same ones on each sequence of bricks. Matter of fact, it's better if you don't. That adds even more interest to the piece. And this is just one of those things that when you do it, you're going to find a lot of pleasure and satisfaction in just getting the images colored, like I said before. Now, I am going to use a blender pen. If you don't have a blender pen, this one actually came from Stampin' Up. I don't even know if it's still any good or not. Let's see. We're about to find out. Yes, it's still good. Okay, let's see, where am I? Let's just do this one. You can use little circles if you want. All this blender pen is doing is basically combining all of these colors into a cohesive color. And it also makes this color permanent. So it's like turning a colored pencil into a marker in that regard. If you want to keep your the lines of the pencil itself at a minimum, if you use little circular motions like I'm doing, that will help. It's not going to eliminate them entirely. These are not Copics. This is just simple coloring. Whether you have art experience or you don't and you just like to color, coloring with your children, coloring with your neighbor's kids, the kids you babysit, is going to actually help you to advance in your skills. So if you just take that time and just do a good job with this, then the end product is going to be even better. And you can see a sharp contrast between this one and the ones that are not done. So these two are not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and finish shading these. I'm hoping this video doesn't get too long. I hate trying to split them. Matter of fact, sometimes I actually say I'm going to split them and then I never do it. So it just kind of is what's going on in my life. As many of you know, it has been a very busy week here. We are very excited to have Michael home after being gone for more than 14 months. I have only seen him until this last week, 28 days out of 14 months. But it's not a whole lot of time. It's hard. I can only imagine how hard it is for those of you who have husbands who are active duty and away from home. It's not a pleasant thing, but when you work together as a husband and wife, then things will work well. and you will be very proud of the accomplishments in your life personally and as a couple if you just take that time to make sure that you listen and communicate well, and that you try to do your very best with each other. Okay, now blender pens are kind of, you could use a watercolor brush for this, frankly, and it would work. So in this case, all I did was I just scribbled this off onto the bottom here until the color was completely gone. The nib itself is still going to have some color on it. It will stain. Honestly, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. So we're not going to worry about it. So we're going to go on and do these chimney parts. This is a brown pencil that I picked up. And so I'm just going to use that, and then I'm going to go back to this gray I had earlier and just scribble that in. Don't be real concerned about coloring technique again. Like I said, it's not going to really matter. To add a little, I guess, the effect of snow, I'm going to add a little blue in here. I have not decided if on this one I'm going to use it's like puffy paint, but it's called liquid applique. My bottles of liquid applique, ladies and gentlemen, are probably 10 years old, if not older. I've been scrapbooking since my children, actually Craig, my oldest, was still a very, very small child, a little tiny guy, and through the years I don't scrapbook as much as I do stamp. That is my passion, so that's what I do. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and we're going to use our handy dandy scissors, and I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit so you can see, and we're just going to cut these pieces out. Now you could cut this out with a X-Acto knife if you have the patience. I do not. You can cut it out with a trimmer. I just happen to prefer to cut these out by hand. It's just as fast, in my opinion, as cutting it out any other way, and as you can see, I've almost got the first one done. It's kind of amazing that as I've grown a little bit older and wiser, that I'm actually becoming farsighted now. I've always been very nearsighted, but my vision, my eyes are polar opposites. I have one eye that's completely nearsighted and one eye that's completely farsighted, and being a diabetic doesn't help things, so I do have to resort to wearing glasses. I really should be wearing them all the time, but I do wear them to drive and all that good stuff. But part of getting older, I plan to age gracefully. I tease my husband that aging gracefully means a facelift, and he says he doesn't think so. So I'm healthy and I'm happy and thankful for everything in my life, and I just think that that's not a bad thing. So here's the last one coming off the paper here. These do not need to be straight. You will find out really quickly that they really don't need to be, because when you glue it onto the base of that snow globe, it's not going to make a difference. So there's our 4 pieces, and these are about 1.5 inches by probably, yep, 1.5 inches square. And we're not going to work on Santa's legs. We're just going to work on the chimney today. I explained in my last video how to make the legs. If you guys would like me to show you how I made them dimensional, please leave me a comment below or inbox me, and I'll be more than happy to show you how that all works. So we're looking pretty good on time here. all you're going to do is you're going to take some of your scraps of paper, just some of the white parts, and it doesn't necessarily, that one's not thick enough. It needs to be at least an inch wide. It doesn't have to be as tall. It just needs to be an inch wide. Just like that. And it's just a scrap of paper. It's not not square by any means. And I think that this one might actually be too long, and it is. Let's go on and chop that off. And you're just going to fold this together just like that. And a little tape on one side. This is score tape. I actually got mine from a company called A Cherry on Top, and they are having a sale. If you are interested, I stocked up when they had their adhesive sale, and I'm really glad I did. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this right here on the edge of the paper, and we're going to put this one up against it. And we're going to make another hinge. And another, it's just a scrap. We don't need anything fancy here. Nobody's going to really see it. If they want to go looking for it, that's fine. But once it's in the snow globe, it's going to be kind of hard to see it. So even if you wanted to, you could always color the inside of this before you close the final wall to make it three-dimensional. That is entirely up to you and how much time and effort you want to put into this. Obviously you can go much fancier than this, and there's the other hinge. I'm going to lay this piece up against it like that. Now I will tell you, I don't know if you can tell, but I actually have this one go in the opposite way of the other two. I am not going to sit here and undo it because you're not going to be able to tell. Like I said before, this is one of those projects you can do. It's extremely forgiving, and you'll still be proud of it in the end. If that bothers you, then measure and score and tape accordingly. It's such a fun thing to do. I love creating things. I love to give homemade gifts at Christmas, and we are fast approaching the Christmas season, and I'm amazed that it is November. I really, really am. I just can't believe that this year has flown as quickly as it has. Excuse me. Here's our last hinge. This one also, I knew it when I folded it, it was too long. We're going to put the score tape on, and we're going to close up our chimney so that it is now three-dimensional. And I'm going to show you how to put the chimney top on real quick, and we'll be done. So this one is going to go right here up against this wall. Here we go. Now there's the other piece of score tape. And we're just going to close it right up together. Just kind of flatten it out just like that. And now it is three-dimensional. It's just made a cube. I know, it's so simple. Alright, here's a piece we stamped earlier. Now, if you don't have dimensional dots, foam tape will work. You're just going to have to cut it super thin. As a matter of fact, I have some foam tape right here. And we're just going to cut a little tiny slither of this. It just needs to be long enough to not quite entirely cover the back. We're going to remove this piece of adhesive, and we're going to put it on our chimney. We're going to raise it up just a little bit above the chimney line, just like that. And we're going to do the rest of them the exact same way. This is a stamp set once again from Maymaymade Designs. The name of the set is called Santa is Stuck. And in my case, he's stuck in a really bad way because he's in trouble because he fell into a lit fireplace. So hopefully good old Santa and his reindeer are going to come and rescue him from his mess. And they'll be okay. So I just put some dimensional dots on this. I apologize for keep coming out of frame, but I forget sometimes that I'm filming. And I'll bring it close enough so I can see it. I do recommend Judy's Sticky Stuff store for buying your dimensional dots. She has many different shapes, and she even has some shaker things on her website. Her prices are excellent. She ships priority mail, and you get them within a few days. Okay, so now you can see the roof. Alright, and of course we will continue this around the rest of it. To make it a little bit more fancy, like I said, if you wanted to, you could use the liquid applique. We're going to see real quick how this sorts. I'm going to just put a little bit on the roof, if it'll let me. Like I said, this one is so old. It is not even funny. Sometimes they just need to be cleaned out, just like any other glue or product that you use that comes in a squeeze tube. But I'm hoping I can at least get enough out here to show you what I'm talking about. You honestly don't need as much as I just put on there, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. And I'm going to take some of my glitter. This glitter is from a company called Sparkle and Sprinkle. I'll try to put their information below. I used to be a designer for them back when they first started out. That was a very long time ago. And the Never Ending Card, the coolest card ever, published in April of 2008, was done exclusively with their stamp sets, and that title, that card title, will never ever be given to someone else. I love the fact that it's mine. Okay, you might want to shield your ears a second. What we're going to do is we're going to add some heat with our handy dandy heat gun. Please look at mine. Mine is a, I think it's a Nicole. Yep, it's a Nicole. You can't really even see the writing on it anymore. I probably had it 4 or 5 years. It's fallen on the floor. It's been left on accidentally. And it is still running like a charm. We're just going to heat this. And as it heats up, it will activate with the material and make it puffy. And every once in a while when you're doing this project, add some little frosty snow on the side of the roof. Once again, like I said, this doesn't need to be neat by any means. It just needs to kind of look like snow. I'm just going to add some of the glitter that I spilled on my desk right outside of the camera to heat this. And then, like I said, with this example, that's how you make the three-dimensional chimney. You're going to take your tea light and you're going to trace it around into the bottom of the stopper. I used hot glue as well as E6000, so this is not going anywhere. You can easily access the battery compartment right there. To change the battery out so that this is a long-lasting holiday decoration. and you just simply screw its cap back on. This will never be able to have water in it. It's paper. It just isn't going to work. And then you have your snow globe, and it's fun.